Welcome in, everyone. Today, you're joining us for a look at a pretty interesting mix of voices. We've gathered thoughts from different eras, different perspectives.
Yeah, we've got historical figures, modern thinkers. It's quite a range. And our mission today really is to sift through all this philosophy, practical tips, spiritual ideas, and find the connections.
Exactly. Find those useful nuggets, those actionable insights that maybe help you navigate your day with a bit more, I don't know, focus, purpose.
That's the goal. We've got quotes, short essays, and what's fascinating is how certain threads, certain core ideas just keep popping up, even from really different sources.
Okay, so let's dive right in then. Where should we start?
Well, a big one that comes up quite a bit is this idea of mental focus, the power of where we actually put our attention.
Right. The idea that our mind kind of directs our experience.
Precisely. And Florence Scovel Shinn has this really direct quote. If a man asks for success but prepares for failure, then he gets what he prepares for.
Wow. That hits hard, doesn't it? It makes you think about, well, how our own expectations might be setting us up.
Absolutely. It suggests our mindset isn't passive. It actively shapes what we do, how we react, maybe even what we notice if you're sort of bracing for failure.
You might miss the opportunity right in front of you or give up too soon.
Exactly. And then on the other side, you have this line, my still mind reflects only peace and holiness. It's almost the antidote, isn't it?
It is. It points to this possibility of cultivating inner calm, like actively creating a peaceful mental space.
Hmm. That inner state isn't just a reaction, it's something we can nurture. And related to that, but maybe more practical, is this remedy for worry.
Ah, yes, getting busy, right?
Yeah, basically, engaging in productive activities, something that occupies your mind and your body. There's that great line, work is one of the best anesthetics for sick nerves.
Such a vivid way to put it. It's like if your mind is busy doing something constructive, there's just less room for worry to spiral.
Right, you channel that energy. You're not just spinning your wheels mentally, it's about action.
So it really connects the abstract idea of focus to something very concrete we can do.
It does. So, for you listening, maybe pause and think. Where is your mental energy going? Are your actions really lining up with what you say you want?
Good questions. Okay, so building on that idea of directing energy,
Yeah.
let's talk about finding meaning in what we actually do, how that keeps us grounded.
Yes. And that Daily Dad piece about readers is a great example. They're too busy inhabiting these rich worlds to get into trouble.
I love that image. And it suggests that deep engagement in anything worthwhile can have that effect, right?
Yeah.
Not just reading.
Totally. A hobby, your work, a project, if it really absorbs you, it provides that focus, that sense of purpose. It's like an anchor.
And maybe it shields you from negativity or just boredom, idleness.
Could be. It implies that a lack of that kind of engagement might leave you more vulnerable to, well, less productive stuff, which ties into what Jerry Seinfeld said.
Oh, yeah, the one about work.
If your work is unfulfilling, the money will be too. It suggests that even external rewards feel hollow without that inner sense of purpose.
It's so true, that intrinsic satisfaction, feeling like what you do matters, money can't replace that.
Definitely not. And then we have that little nudge, dream big, start small, but most of all, start.
Ah, the start, the
Yeah.
crucial first step. It's all about just beginning that meaningful action, isn't it? Even if it feels tiny.
Exactly. That initial momentum is key. So maybe reflect on this. What activities truly absorb you? What gives you that feeling of, yeah, this matters? And how can you make more space for that?
Okay, good prompt. Now let's maybe shift the focus inward a bit more. There's this recurring theme about prioritizing our inner life over, all the external noise.
Yeah, Tolstoy really hits on this in his Calendar of Wisdom. He talks about life involving weakening the material and increasing the spiritual side of our existence.
And he puts it quite strongly sometimes, doesn't he? Like only spiritual things exist in reality. And if you want to save your soul, forget about your comfort.
He does. And it's important, I think, to understand spiritual here, not necessarily as religious dogma, but more about our inner values, our purpose, that deeper stuff.
Right, the things that give life meaning beyond just stuff.
Yeah.
Or fleeting experiences.
Exactly. And that connects to another thought we found. We cannot stop on the way to self-perception. As soon as you notice that you have a bigger interest in the outer world than in yourself, then you should know that the world moves behind you.
Ooh, that's a powerful image. Like if you're too focused outside, you lose touch with your own internal compass.
That's how I read it. You risk getting swept along by external things instead of being guided from within. And it loops back to that still mind, that inner peace comes from tending to that inner world.
Makes sense. So for you listening, maybe consider that balance. How much energy goes inward versus outward? Are you actively like cultivating that inner space?
A constant balancing act, I think.
Definitely. Okay, so if we're focusing inward and we're talking about meaningful action,
Yeah.
that brings us to effort, right? None of this happens passively.
Not at all. And Kant has that great line, virtue begins only when there is an effort. He distinguishes it from like a dove being naturally kind. For us, virtue is a striving.
I like that distinction. It's not just about being good. It's about trying to be good, making the effort. It applies to growth too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And Earl Nightingale defines success in a similar vein. Success is really nothing more than the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Progressive realization. That jumps out. It's not a destination. It's the moving towards it, the ongoing effort.
Exactly. Success is the journey, the process, which makes that other quote very relevant. A goal without a plan is just a wish.
Right. Intention needs action. Dreams need steps.
It grounds it all, doesn't it? And brings us back again to
Dream big, start small, but most of all, start. You need that initial push.
that first act of effort. So thinking about your own goals.
Well,
Where's the gap between the wish and the plan? Between the plan and the actual consistent effort?
something to mull over. Okay, let's take a slightly different tack now. How do we deal with the tough stuff, the challenges?
Vinod Khosla has a really proactive take. Any problem is an opportunity. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity.
That's a powerful reframing, isn't it? Seeing problems not as dead ends, but as potential starting points for something new.
A total mindset shift. Instead of feeling stuck, you look for the opening, the chance to learn or grow or innovate.
And it's interesting to connect that with the passage from the Quran mentioned. If God wanted to, he could have made us one nation, but he tests us.
Yeah, framing challenges as tests. Opportunities to show resilience, maybe. And it adds that layer of kindness, too. Try as much as you can to be kind, to be good.
So challenges aren't just for our growth, but also opportunities to practice how we treat others during the challenge.
That seems to be the implication. Choosing kindness, even when things are difficult.
So maybe think about a challenge you're facing right now. Can you find an opportunity hidden in it? An opportunity for learning, or maybe just for practicing kindness?
It's a useful exercise.
Definitely. So as we sort of pull these threads together, Tolstoy, Seinfeld, Shin, the Quran, Kant, it's amazing how they converge, isn't it?
It really is. These voices from different times, different contexts, all seem to be pointing towards similar fundamental truths.
About focus, purpose, looking inward, the need for effort, resilience.
Yeah, and we even saw echoes in Thomas Paine, The World is My Country. That sense of shared humanity and doing good.
And Solon's advice to keep learning throughout life, not just waiting for old age to bring wisdom.
Or even Tolstoy's simple get your house in order, that call to intentionality, to taking responsibility for our own lives.
Right. So wrapping up our deep dive today, the big takeaways seem to be about being intentional with our thoughts, our actions, finding that meaningful engagement.
Nurturing that inner life, understanding that growth takes real effort, and yeah, seeing challenges not just as obstacles, but potentially as opportunities.
So maybe the final thought for you to carry away is this. How can you weave just one of these ideas into your day?
Yeah, what small shift in focus or what single deliberate action could start a positive ripple effect for you? Something to think about.
We hope this discussion gave you some useful things to consider, maybe a new perspective or two. Take these ideas with you.
And thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.